Defensiveness is a communications killer. And if you want to stop fighting in your relationship, you need to stop being so defensive. My name is Valerie, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Colorado, and I help couples stop fighting and start communicating. In today's video, I want to talk about defensiveness. We're going to talk about what it is and why it's so important to avoid. Let's start with basics. What is defensiveness? Defensiveness is this natural state that occurs anytime someone feels accused, criticized, or attacked. It's really natural to feel defensive when you're in a conflict, especially when you're in a conflict with your partner. On the inside, defensiveness is really a state of anxiety and avoidance. Now, it can look and feel like anger and frustration, but what's often happening underneath is that the person who's feeling defensive is trying to avoid things like guilt, shame, and embarrassment. The problem is, on the outside, defensiveness looks and feels like a counterattack. So when you get defensive, your partner actually feels like you're attacking them. They don't hear you protecting yourself. What they hear is that you're arguing with them. Defensiveness has this really unfortunate effect of upping the tension in any conversation and increasing the level of conflict. Because when you get defensive, what you're doing is you're backing your partner into a corner. When you get defensive, they have to choose. Either they agree with you and say, yes, you're right and I was wrong, or they feel like they have to argue back. So when you get defensive, your partner gets defensive in return. And this has this very difficult effect of shutting down communication. Because in reality, what defensiveness does is it shifts the conversation away from the core problem or the core concern, and it turns it into an argument about who's right and who's wrong. Over time, defensiveness can lead to this really painful pattern where nothing ever gets solved and no problem ever gets resolved. And worse, when you're consistently defensive, your partner starts to feel like they can't talk to you because they start to believe that nothing that they say or do is going to change your mind, and nothing that they say or do really matters. So defensiveness sends this message to your partner that you don't really care about their feelings. Again, at its heart, defensiveness is designed to protect, but what it actually does is it lashes out and it creates more conflict in a relationship. And that's why it's so important to do your best to avoid defensiveness. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, subscribe to our channel. We'll be following this video up with some tips and tricks on what to actually do if you want to defeat defensiveness in your relationship. So stay tuned.